Before I start, I should give a little background about where exactly this video is coming from. So, some days ago on Reddit, I see a curious little thread in my feed with 27.7 thousand upvotes. A 1950s housewife tries LSD, link and source video for all this will be in the description. Now, that wasn't really at all what I had a beef with. Instead, when I viewed the comments for the video, at least 80% of them were praising LSD, some even decrying that it was made illegal. Even the actual YouTube comments for this were pretty much the same thing as well. Now, before I even continue on, I am not talking about using LSD for medicinal or even scientific purposes. I am strictly talking about using LSD recreationally. I am also not going to discuss whether it really should be made illegal or not. It's a different discussion that I'm not equipped to discuss adequately and also don't have time for it in this video right now anyway. So, to actually start this off, let's imagine for a second, regardless of whether you actually do or don't want to try it right now, that you do want to try out LSD. Oh wait, the drug is heavily regulated and stamped down on, legally. So, now you're going to have to find a black market seller of some kind, and they don't just put their ads out on Craigslist. Alright, let's say you do find a seller and get the LSD and you start your trip and, oh wait, some manufacturers of the drug don't care as much as they should about the purity of the LSD they make. The batch you get has too many impurities in it, which gives you a horribly bad trip and just generally makes you feel like a weight in the ground. You might even end up in the hospital. Okay, but let's say you do actually find a reputable seller and you do get a good batch. Everything's good now, right? Oh wait, no it's not, because when you administered the LSD to yourself, you took too much and now you really do have to go to the hospital, or having a really bad trip and just generally feeling like the worst you could possibly feel, and now the hospital knows you took LSD and now there's cops asking questions. Okay, but let's say then that you do find a reputable seller, get a good batch, and are careful to measure everything out incredibly precisely. You even, for whatever reason, have lab equipment for this. Everything is finally alright now. Oh wait, no it's not, because your grandfather's grandpappy had a history of deep mental illness. That drug just activated your latent psychosis permanently, and now you're taking medication for schizophrenia and hoping every day that you'll be able to tell reality from hallucinations and delusions. Okay, fine. Let's say then that you do find a reputable seller, get a good batch, measure out the LSD you need to the nth degree, and make sure there's no history of the mental illness in your genealogy. Now things can't possibly go. Now wait a second. You've got to get a sober partner to watch you during the trip, and now you're drinking Drano because you thought it was soda, and now you're in the hospital, almost dead. Wow, okay, let's say then that you do find a reputable seller, get a good batch, measure out the LSD you need exactly as you need it, make sure there's no family history of mental illness, and make sure to secure a good partner who will watch you to make sure you don't do anything stupid. There can't possibly be anything else. But wait, there's more! It turns out you can just have a bad trip anyway, because even in the best conditions, bad trips can happen simply because your brain wasn't going to allow a good trip to happen that day. Okay, fine. Then let's say you do find a reputable seller, get a good batch, measure out the LSD you need exactly as you need it, make sure there was no family history of mental illness, made sure to secure a good partner, and made it to where the fates smiled upon you today and you have a good trip. Congratulations. You made it. You see a bunch of cool shapes and indescribable colours, and you feel one with the universe. Now what? For all that trouble, the only things you've really learned and experienced could have been experienced with some meditation and discipline, although there are dangers to certain meditative practices as well, though I'm not going to get into that right now. Also, you'll never even really be able to share this experience with a majority of the people in your area, because LSD is a rare thing nowadays, and chances are, if you bring it up, you'll be met with confusion or even hostility in some circles. The point I'm trying to make here is, LSD isn't really worth it at all. Although I'm not your mama, and you need to decide for yourself in the end what risks you're willing to accept and to reject. Trust me when I say you'd be wise to sit this one out instead. And that's all. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't leave a like or subscribe, but rather head over to our dedicated forums at intosanctuary.com and comment there. We'd love to see you over there, but whichever you choose, keep it real.